Cody?
I have not.
I tried to call him, he won't answer. He must have had a late night.
Oh my goodness. Is he usually like this?
No.
No?
I'm gonna give him shit if he doesn't answer or doesn't show up.
Right, give him a few minutes.
Well, the first place we wanted to scout had somebody there, actually 2 trucks there, which is uncommon, but maybe they got the right idea also. So me and Rick gonna ease around here to the other side and see if I don't really want to go in on top of those guys, so we'll go in from the other side and see what we can come up with.
Well, it's day 2. Cody didn't show up this morning. He's still in bed. So we're gonna go out without him. Michael here is gonna take us to a spot, low ground, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna look for a hot sign. He knows where the bedding is. We're just looking for some hot sign, and we'll see how it goes.
Yep. So this, like Rick was saying, it's mostly low ground. You got a lot of edges, like you see right here, like this thicket, and then once we get back in here, it's going to be more bottom, open hardwoods, and then a big ditch that runs north and south. So
cool.
We'll get in here and just see if we can find some fresh sign. Like I told you guys earlier, where we wanted to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
2 trucks. So.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. So we're just gonna make the best of it going here. I've never really accessed from this side. I've kind of hunted the whole bottom that we're going to, but I've always been curious about what this side was gonna look like. So it'll be kind of new ground for both of us here.
You want me to fall? Damn. Thank you.
Got duck season open back up today.
There's Sleepy Cody.
Oh, hey, look at him! Still camera.
Yeah, it's Sleepy Cody.
I know it.
Well, our next option was this spot, and you see what we got here. What, 3 trucks? Rick, what do you think? 3 trucks with 4-wheeler trailers.
4-wheelers, unreal.
Y'all ever run into this, Rick?
No,
This?
no, you can't use 4-wheelers on our public land.
See, it used to say all-terrain cycles. They got it grayed out here, but it says may be used to ingress, or egress this area. So we used to just be able to go in, like if you harvested something, you could go in,
Grab it and
come out. But you see that, I guess a lot of people were complaining, so they grayed that out. Now it says must remain on established trails, helmets and effective muffler required.
Yeah, but that don't ever happen.
That you're saying they go off the trail?
Yeah.
Great.
And this ridge runs all the way down to the lake bottom, and then it drops off.
And they can run the ridge with the 4-wheeler.
Right. Now,
so they're out here then.
Yeah, they're going to be all on this ridge right here.
If they're going to be on this ridge, we should go to the other ridge.
So we'll walk down the road, we'll cut in, and I think we're going to walk down that main drainage. You know, maybe you get on one side, I get on the other, and just walk down the secondary points, seeing if we can see any rubs coming down. And then we'll make a circle and come up that far left ridge and maybe do the same thing and see what we can find in there. See if those places where I found all those old rubs last year, maybe they're open back up.
All right, y'all. I'm walking in here on the other side of this public. Cody and them are on about probably a mile from me on the other side. I'm gonna scout that area. We're kind of splitting up. I'm gonna scout this area down off this point and then the draws, and see if I can find something. There was a lot of trucks over there. No trucks parked right here. Thinking ought to be good. A lot of people out. Major and minor times a day is like from 10 to I think 1 or 2, so I'm gonna just slip up my way in here and see what I can find. I'm not gonna barrel down through.
Well, Rick, being from Wisconsin, he's not used to seeing persimmon trees like we have down here in the South. And what you see right here is a common persimmon. And the real distinctive thing about these is the bark. They have that checkered bark on them right here. And if you look over here, Rick, look, 1, 2, they're all over there. And there's a patch of them. Yeah. And
So it's a patch of persimmon.
always one thing about a persimmon tree is when you find one, there's going to be another one. There's going to be multiple. Why that is, I don't know.
Well,
But it's probably just from the fruit dropping, you know, them growing. But always, when you find one, there's always going to be another one. This is what we target here in the South early season. Not necessarily the big bean fields, because that's where everybody's going to hunt. We come down here and find the food sources in the woods, you know, and typically they grow along the ditches and drainages. But these are a great early season draw when they start dropping, and they typically start dropping right after the first frost. So
better than white oak?
Similar, because there's not so many persimmons around.
Okay.
When these are dropping, it's like candy. Like you said, they're like little apples. I mean, you know, they're about that big around.
That makes them
drop.
better than white oak because you know where they are.
Right, exactly. They're in very specific locations, and typically they're along these edges, these drainages, like I said, where it's thick. So it's typically something like with the bedding right here behind us, they come right out here and feed them persimmons and stage right here until they go up to the beans and things like that. So
Nice.
you know, really cool stuff. Really something that we, you know, like to target early season for that reason. All right, guys. So me and Rick have made it to the back here. Absolutely zero sign up in the open woods, which was to be expected. We got to the back where all this buckbrush and thick is, where the four-wheelers can't get. And we're in a little drainage ditch, as you guys can see. And the tracks are starting to pick up way better than they were up there, right? So we're going to work down this drainage, circle around the backside in the lake bottom, and hopefully the tracks pick up. I'm definitely seeing a lot here, so I'm feeling better about it. Work back here. We may jump one up out here because we're in the prime time spot now, so we'll see what we find. So me and Rick just made our way down through what we perceive now as bedding. Really thick stuff. We started getting into those tracks coming down the ditch. We made it through that stuff and got to the edge. And as you guys can see behind me, we have a flood control lake here. So during the winter boil is 210, which keeps that lake bone dry just in case we get a big rain, because this area has a big problem with flooding. Now, one thing, we wanted to get away from the four-wheelers, but when we got on this back edge, as usual here in Mississippi, there's four-wheeler trails coming through here, as you guys see, and typically it's more tore up than this. However, we get here and right at our feet, I mean, there's just a cow path, a deer tracks and stuff. So the conclusion is that these deer are just following the edge here. Could be night, could be during the day, not sure. But during the rut, this is probably a great spot for them bucks coming for a north wind coming down for them bucks to run in the leeward side of this bedding area. So it's good to see these tracks. However, it's not good to see all the four-wheeler tracks here. So as you guys can see here in Mississippi, there's pressure everywhere. It's hard to escape the pressure when you can get away from the four-wheelers. Typically is when you're going to find the most sign.
But the tracks are here.
The tracks are here, so the deer are using this as bedding for sure, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
We're going to keep on trucking, walk this edge and see if we can't cut a big buck track. What do you think?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Let's do it. Jump to doe. Right down here in this bottom. So instead of being on the points like what you would think, up on the top, she was down here in this stuff. See how thick? It's kind of thick down in here. I could have shot her, but I'd have been shooting through some thick stuff, so I decided not to. Alright, so there's a decent rub out there digging the diameter, if you look. But it's all the way up to here, which is in line with my waist. See how thick and greenbrier that is down in the draw. It's a good sign. Come
Let's call you
Was
Booger.
it white?
We'll call him Booger from now on. Was it white?
All right, guys. So we're coming into this area. It's 3:20 right now. So roughly about an hour and a half, 2 hours of daylight left. We just finished up scouting the other area. Winds out of the south-southwest. Michael saw a buck chasing earlier today, so we're just going to stick with the rut tactics. So it's still early. There's probably only a couple does and estrus here and there, but giving it our best shot.
We just got done jumping them. Michael saw maybe a buck. He pretty sure it was a buck. We're not sure what to do right now. There's gotta be more than one in here.
Yeah, for sure. And I know there's gonna be some out there. I know for a fact there'll be some deer out there bedded right now.
We just probably 50 yards back we jumped that deer. And Michael's been in here before and he's... You think so? Cross in over here. Is that what you said, Mike?
Yeah, you got mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, can you believe that? December, I have never dealt with a mosquito. That is ridiculous.
Should have brought the thermos.
Yeah, I didn't bring it. So we just got set up. And I'm already hearing deer running around in front of me somewhere. We got in here pretty quiet. We didn't have to come into the woods very far. And we know they're in here for sure, so we're gonna sit right here and ride it out and see what happens. The wind's not doing what it's supposed to do though. That's not good. It's now somehow coming out of the east. That's alright. It's not terrible, but we'll see what happens.
All right, guys, so we just made it back to the truck. Michael and Rick went in there and jumped the giant.
Yep.
You know, said they jumped a deer right where we got the pictures of him anyway. I walked around that bedding area and didn't have any luck, didn't see, hear anything. And the slowness of Mississippi feels like the October lull, don't it, Rick?
Yes.
You know, it's
But that doesn't really exist.
right. So, you know, Michael saw a deer chasing earlier today. We talked to a guy at the parking lot at the first spot we were in. He said he saw a little buck chasing, so maybe they're just getting
Nose
started.
to the ground.
Yeah, nose
Yeah.
to the ground. Who knows? Maybe it's just a couple does in estrus coming in, getting started.
Michael saw that one chasing, so
Right. Warm temps aren't helping. But we're going to stay after it, you know, keep hunting hard. I mean, that's all we can do. And I think in the morning we're going to transition down back to the bottoms, you know, really where we're seeing most of the deer tracks and stuff. No rubs really anywhere. Me and Rick saw one little one, and there was a cell cam on that. So
yeah.
we're just going to keep pounding it. What do you think, Rick?
That sounds good. Well, it's going to be Saturday tomorrow, so we're going to get away from pressure and four-wheelers, so
That's the hard part. That's the hard part. But we got some aces in the hole down at the bottom. We'll give that a shot.